We look ahead to this evening and put this one in your diary. 7 p.m. The President is going to enlighten all of us on who the new electricity minister is going to be. It was a new position that he announced during his SONA address. Now, not only that, of course, he'll be announcing his brand new cabinet and a deputy minister, a deputy president. So will these changes help solve the many issues plaguing our country? Senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is roving around Johannesburg, avoiding all the potholes, are you, Aviwe, and making it through the traffic lights that aren't working. 7 p.m. tonight, we all have a date. Where do I find you now, and what are people telling you?
Gareth, you find me in Africa's Golden Square Mile. That is Sandton, of course, where we're trying to get the business reaction. What do they want ahead of the cabinet reshuffle expected just under 11 hours from now? We do know a number of vacancies there. There's that much talked about Minister of Electricity in the presidency. That was announced 3 days shy of a month. On the 9th of February is when that announcement was made. Of course, last week we saw the official resignation of Deputy President David Mabuza. What does this all mean? What does it mean for the country and going forward? Let me just get reaction now from the CEO of the National Black Council. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. But does this indicate, the reshuffle itself, a positive change going forward?
Good morning, Aviwe, and good morning to your viewers. Look, as a NBBC, we feel any change is good if it's going in the right direction. So that question, to answer it, I would say it depends on the outcome of the reshuffle as to who's put where to do what, and is that person competent to do the work? Because we have a concern regarding whenever there's a reshuffle, a minister has been having things in line that they are putting together, and then all of a sudden they're removed, and then someone else comes in. And you know, when these ministers change, they also inherit an office of people who are loyal to someone else, and sometimes it's difficult. So we sometimes find it very difficult for the transitions to help us. So we'd like to see changes more related to bringing in people who are younger and have got a longer vision of what they intend to implement, rather than someone who's about to go to retirement, taking up another position, and just maintaining their employment till they retire, and not so much focused on future development. So a younger cabinet would be better for the country, and especially for us in business.
Okay, before we actually go on to who you want there, let's talk of your happiness. Are you happy with the current cabinet?
Well, let me focus more on the business side, so small business development, DTI, and so on and so forth. Currently, the DTI is doing okay, but we're not getting that much investment into small businesses. The small business development, with the Honorable Minister Ndabeni Abrahams, we are working with them, but we feel more could be done, especially when it comes to the understanding of what small business, especially in township, what they go through to do business. It's an uphill climb, and it seems like the cabinet does not really understand it that well, and a lot of the decisions they are taking, for example, with the grant system, the grants for small businesses, you find a detachment when it comes to how government views it, because the qualifying criteria becomes problematic, and you find that there are grants there, there are loans there, there are systems there, but those systems, to qualify for them, it throws out anyone in township outside of the ballpark. Things like looking for a lease agreement, looking for a title deed that is not available in the townships and in rural areas in most times. A lot of it is tribal land. So it's like the government is detached. So we want somebody who's going to at least research what small business goes through to get into business. Someone who's going to have a long-term plan. That's why I say a younger person, because someone who's elderly is on their way out. We want someone who's on their way in, who's going to take a long-term view of how to fix the issues in the country, especially when it comes to economic development.
And there are a number of vacancies, of course, and there is hardly any business that will be conducted without electricity. There's that vacancy of Minister of Electricity in the presidency. Who would you like to fill these vacancies?
Okay. What I'm going to say might be contrary to common point of views. I do not believe that we need to bloat this cabinet any more than what it is. This Minister of Energy, what are you going to do now? You're going to have a Minister of Arms for Dinela. You're going to have a Minister of Transport, another Minister of Trains for Transnet, which is also failing to put trains on the ground. PRASA. We can't have a minister for every failure that happens in the country. They need to fix ESCOM, and ESCOM needs to be removed. They need to totally remove ESCOM from the infrastructure and have ESCOM as a service provider and not a referee and a player in the energy space. Okay? ESCOM needs to be separated from the infrastructure and allow anyone and everyone who's licensed and goes through the processes to be able to sell energy direct to their customers. Right now, as it stands, ESCOM is going to end up putting us in a total blackout in this country. So a minister, another new minister, coming to do what? What is it different to the Minister of State Enterprises? What is the difference? What is this new minister's job actually going to be, and how are they going to expedite the ending of load shedding? Because with ESCOM as the only sole supplier, all these private entities that are producing the PPEs, right? They are selling to ESCOM at a very high rate. Instead of them just having access to the grid, everybody must pay a fee. So the only thing government can do is take the grid back into government, and everybody must pay a fee to utilize the grid and let the grid be open for others to sell electricity direct to clients. Let ESCOM be just a service provider. We cannot have this situation of having a new minister for just energy. No, that's a waste of state money.
Okay, thank you very much. Waste of state money, says the CEO of the National Black Business Caucus, of course, as there are talks around that Minister of Electricity in the presidency. They say that already we have ministers in place, such as the Ministers of Public Enterprises. There's no need for a minister that will focus, of course, on the biggest headache and crisis in the country, and that is the rolling blackouts.